Do not sell tools, sell outcomes. Whatever you do, please do not talk about software. Please do not try to sell software. You on this call are going to hear a lot about software because software is what you as the professional will use and know and understand, creates the outcome. But for your customer, when you're making the pitch, for gosh sakes, don't talk about the software. I feel like what a lot of people want to do is they want to sit behind a computer and they want to scrape a bunch of emails and send off a bunch of cold emails and they think magic will happen and gold will fall from the sky. Are the people who actually took a minute to know me. I am a great customer, by the way, for the record. I can buy lots of your stuff. But if you don't take 5 minutes to say something that makes me think that you actually took a minute to know me, then I never buy from those people. I hate those people. I burn those people down as fast as I can. I get rid of them. And I note down, I'll never buy from you because you don't care about me.
Hey everybody, Jason here from Trendify. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We have the honor and privilege of interviewing one of the co-founders of HighLevel, one of my favorite software, something I promote and use every single day. And if you don't know what HighLevel is, it's basically, in a nutshell, not to simplify it too much, but a great tool that agencies can use to help business owners get more leads, make more sales. And the best thing about it, in my opinion, is that you can actually do what's called white labeling, which means that you can, for example, if Netflix would allow me to rebrand it as Jason Flix and sell it to thousands of people, and they do all the development, the marketing, come out with cool new features, and I just get to offer a great service to my clients and sell it for whatever price I want. That, in a nutshell, is what white labeling is. So with that, I have the honor of having Shaun Clark here. Thank you so much for taking some time to do this.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah. So I know I'm probably one of the most watchers of the Shaun Coming At You videos out there. So I love, if you don't know what that is, go check out the HighLevel channel later. But basically, you guys are continuing to come out with new apps and new additions to HighLevel. So I don't know if you want to drive the conversation that way or kind of whatever you want to talk about today.
No, this is your show, not mine.
Cool. Well, first of all, I just appreciate all the work that you guys did. I'm wearing my HighLevel swag here,
and
I got I don't know how many people have this, but I got a little coffee mug here too. Got that. I was in Dallas, and this is one thing that kind of gave me the indication that HighLevel was such a great company, is that I was in Dallas and I remembered that you guys had an office there, and I said, you know what, let me just reach out to Robin and see if potentially I could stop by. We were staying pretty close. And within 2 minutes, he was like, yeah, man, come on by. Don't expect too much because a lot of our team works from home, but you're welcome to pop in. And they were so nice, gave us shirts and stuff. And obviously we didn't overstay our welcome, but just the care that you and the entire team have to make this product so great, I really appreciate.
Heck yeah. Happy to do it.
So I've watched, again, like I said, all the Shaun Coming At You videos. Do you want to just kind of tell us what you are excited about, or kind of what's on the roadmap for what you guys are creating? Anything else you want to kind of dive into?
Yeah, that's a big question. So I mean, there's a lot there. It all depends, I think, mostly on who you are. So, obviously, so directionally, the goal originally was, okay, how do we create every tool a marketing agency needs to be successful? And we're not done with that. We've got a couple more items to go. But then as we move, and then from there, it was, okay, marketing agencies have tools that they use to do marketing. And then it was like, okay, they have tools that they can use to do sales. And then it became, wait, let's take those same tools and make them available to the SMBs that they serve. And then now it's, okay, how do we then keep going and really create all the operational tools that are important to the SMB? Because what I want to do is I want to see agencies really run end-to-end businesses on a software stack. And so really that's kind of the journey that we're on. So if you want to, I'll share my screen here.
Yeah.
And we can talk through kind of some of the big releases that are coming up in the short term. So first up, the prospecting tool. We already have this out, but there's some really good additions to this. This tool is really designed to allow you to go in and sell SaaS to any local business. We made this little update where you can search basically, like restaurants near me, and you can get a bird's eye view of kind of who they are, have they claimed their GMB, what are their reviews like, do they have a WordPress website, to really just sort of help you kind of dial in, okay, who do I want to target? What pitch might I go in with that person? And then from there, you can drill in and actually create a much more thorough audit report. So that way you can present something to them. I think it just kind of gives you a way to pitch to them without, just kind of going in there with nothing in hand. So that I think is really cool and useful when you're selling SaaS to a local business or even to not a local business, really to anybody. So that I'm pretty excited about. I think the team did a really good job there. There's a ton in here, so I'll skip through a bunch of it, but we have all kinds of cool new dashboards coming out and SAS configuration changes that I think are cool. You'll be able to do multiple SaaS plans in July. I think we're going to expand it from 3 to 20. You'll be able to do customizable welcome emails and also multiple brands. So if you want to do PlumberSoft or LawyerSoft or whatever soft, you can do them all in the same 497 account, which is the SaaS Pro account. So we'll have multiple brands as well. So I think that's also going to be a huge way to continue to push out SaaS. Also into the LC phone system, all kinds of great additions here, but the two I really am excited about are the inbound calling on the web app, which should launch this quarter or early in third quarter. And really this is about this idea again, how do we become a actual phone system so that for you as an agency, but also for your businesses, you can go in and start replacing things like RingCentral or other phone systems they might be using. And the inbound calling in the desktop app is really kind of one of those last mile things. We'll also add IVR and call routing strategies in Q3 as well.
Awesome.
So that's going to be pretty exciting. And then finally, WhatsApp is coming. So for those of you who are outside the US, this is huge. WhatsApp is the premier messaging channel in most countries, where versus the US where SMS is still sort of prevalent. And so this is actually coming here. It says August, but it should be radically sooner than that. We're actually in the final throes with Meta right now. We're getting them to give us that kind of final approval. And it's really just an engineering review. So all the code is finished. We're just kind of waiting for their thumbs up, and then boom, we should be able to go live with it. We're already using it, in fact, in our account for ourselves just to test it out.
I know that you are relieved to not have to answer that question. When is WhatsApp coming?
Out? I know. You're not kidding me. Let's see. So just a bunch of, big, all kinds of improvements, big and small, email validation, so forth and so on, dedicated IP addresses. This is all LC email stuff. We're sending a boatload of email now. We have great deliverability. So that product is awesome. WordPress, similar story, first-class infrastructure play here. Really awesome results, very scalable. So if you run into clients who have WordPress, you currently use WordPress, whatever, but bringing it all in-house makes a lot of sense. We'll also be adding in all kinds of reporting here in next quarter, Q3. So you can see things like analytics, and you can also look at things like visitor information, that kind of thing, give your customers a little more in-depth information on exactly what and who's coming to their WordPress site. So that'll be out in July.
Awesome.
Then let's see some other staging access stuff. Reputation management. So this is the one I'm most excited about here for reputation management is the AI generated response to reviews. This will actually slide up into early July, but we're very close. Essentially, if you know anything about reputation management or review management, first of all, reviews in general are the best thing you could ever do for a small business, in my opinion. But then from there, when reviews do come in, Google really likes to see businesses respond and actually will change the way they rank you based on whether or not you're responsive to those reviews. And so this is the ability to take the AI that we've been baking all over in the platform and use it to actually automatically respond, to those reviews. So I think that would be radically useful for most small businesses. So instead of, some products will let you like spin responses and things like that. These will truly be unique responses each time. So I think that's kind of a cool value there.
Yeah.
Let's see. All this stuff is cool, like new review widgets and all this, but just trying to hit the highlights. Yext, we just launched for the UK. We'll have Canada and Australia out shortly. Memberships, I think, is a huge part of as we move forward. We're seeing big uptakes in membership usage. We are really at the point where I would say we're pretty much on par with the largest membership platforms out there. We're adding video tracking in, so you can actually see down to the learner exactly where what videos they're watching, how far they're going. Really in-depth analytics at the learner level, which I think is going to be awesome. Simplification of reminders. So like when a new course lesson comes out, or they're in a current lesson, reminding them to use it and go through it and actually complete it. All of that will come through and be much easier. Subscription management is also launching. So this is, hey, I've sold a membership for $29 a month to a person, their credit card failed. I'm going to done them. So I'm going to say, hey, your credit card failed, click here to update it. And then if not, I'm going to lock them out. And then when they pay, I'm going to let them back in. Pretty, quote unquote, simple stuff, but we'll automate all of that for you to make it a lot easier to manage your learners.
Awesome.
Certificates are coming out, which I think will be cool for a lot of people. payment integration and coupons is going to be a big thing for people, but also the ability to view all your transactions, process refunds, that kind of thing. And then really what this opens up for is community. So community is going live this quarter. And this is, if you've used anything like Circle.so or Mighty Networks, this is exactly what this is. So we'll now have our own community feature. This will be available on all the plans, and really be a first-class community offering.
That is awesome.
Great posts, all that stuff. There's the roadmap for it. So this is kind of how. So in June, this is what you get column 1, and then Q3, Q4. This is roughly what they're anticipating rolling out, and kind of working down. And then now that we have memberships and community and affiliates and invoices and estimates and proposals in a minute, at some point, where do you put all this stuff? You put it in a client portal. So imagine a one-stop shop. It doesn't matter if you're an agency, it doesn't matter if you're a small business. Basically, it's a one-stop shop for your customers to be able to log in and then do the stuff that you want them to do. Now, it's customizable, of course, because I'm a plumber. I'm not going to have a community and all that, but I might have invoicing and estimating and proposals and documents and all of this. Documents comes out next quarter. So let me get to the cool screen here. You can kind of get the idea of where, let's say I log in and you could choose where do you want Shaun to land when he first logs in, right? And so let's say I'm really into communities, so I might land in communities, but up in the top right-hand corner, just like Google, we've got this little switcher, and now I can move in between and around seamlessly between other sections, and you can choose what's there and what's not there. And then eventually we'll have a dashboard that kind of ties it all together. But this community, this client portal actually launches live this week, so we're really close.
That is so cool. Yeah, I think the community side of it, I know, maybe a plumber, as you said, isn't going to have their own group, but there are so many ways, especially as agency owners, we can build a community of plumbers or things like that. So there's aspects of that, or just like a neighborhood community type thing. Maybe that's a way that you can go and get local businesses that way.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. So I think, so that will be there. Let's see. And then you could see kind of how this will be staged out. So the alpha release with the affiliate stuff, membership stuff, community stuff, and the affiliate portal is huge. We actually don't even have that today. So this is the ability to go in and actually, we have full affiliate management software, but and we MVP everything. So this was totally to plan. But the idea was, okay, cool. I have an affiliate. Where do I send them to actually figure out if their payouts are there, or update their card, or look at their current number of people they've affiliated, this and that. That's actually going to go out at the same time as the portal does. So I think that's going to be great. Some great snapshot updates, just putting them in the audit logs for people who use a lot of snapshots. This will be like the most amazing thing ever for people who may watch this and say, what is the snapshot? You won't even worry about it. The mobile app, I'm really excited about. So it's going to get some really good first-class upgrades. So notifications, quick actions, some filters, and also we've moved everything to a local database format, so it'll be super snappy and super fast. So this is all cool. But the thing I am most excited about is this bad boy right here, and it is literally the ability to do tap to pay, just like you've seen many other places, but now it will be standard in the mobile app. So the idea here is think like Square, except you no longer need the reader. So you can actually tap the credit card against the phone now, or you can tap the phone to the phone. So there's no more readers required. This is supported both on Apple and Android. So you put this in, you choose tap to pay, and boom, you've just taken money. So now you're able to replace that functionality for all of your clients who are doing mobile payments one way or another. So I think that's so cool. Pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there are so many different ways and different sub products you can sell with HighLevel, but even just something like that, seeing like a tree service guy going door to door and trying to collect payments. It's great that you guys have the invoicing platform, but if they could just tap, you owe me $5,000, tap your credit card here.
Well, I mean, and what's really interesting is, it's funny you bring up the tree care, because there's actually a guy here in Eugene where I live, and he randomly pulled me over at Costco of all places and said, "Hey, do you remember me?" And I said, "Maybe." And he said, "Oh, I've got it." I told him about this. He's like, "I have a tree care guy that can't wait for this." And I've noticed that, I've had several service providers come to my house recently, and almost all of them use a tap to pay solution, and it's not radically sophisticated, right? They just pull out their phone, they type in the amount, they show it to me, and I'm like, "Yeah, I got it." You tapped it right, and then I'm tapping my card on their reader, and that's it, right? And presumably that probably works its way upstream, and ultimately gets to a place where it does something even more sophisticated than that. But I noticed that this idea of I sent you an invoice or estimate, I'm going to convert it to an invoice, you're going to make a payment. Like it feels like a lot of those barriers are breaking down. It's mostly just like, hey, pay me. And as a consumer, you're like, cool, great. I'm going to pay you. So I think that's really neat. And so I think this will be a great option for those local service businesses. Even your farmers market friends will benefit from this. Because I was actually just at a farmers market and it was funny. So most people use Square. And then this one lady we came to, she made these cool soaps that had Legos buried in them. So we bought like 3 or 4 for my son and his friends.
That's cool.
But then she said to me, oh, I'm using whatever it was because they charged less fees. And of course, then she goes to use the reader and it like doesn't connect and she has to like try 6 or 7 times. And I'm just like, man, if only you had this, you'd be radically faster and we'd be done here. And, it wouldn't take me 10 minutes while you're like reconnecting your reader. You just, you pull out your iPhone and you go.
Yep.
So I'm pretty excited about that. So then all proposals and estimates are also dropping. So now proposals and estimates are, in my opinion, they're close to the same thing. A proposal in my mind is something where you're going to put a lot more like effort into it on a builder level. So think, hey, I'm going to have this builder. I'm going to create this sort of visual presentation that's going to talk a lot about my services and what I do, my method and my process and my previous jobs and this and that in order to convince you, because it's probably a bigger ticket item. And so I really need to put some visual leverage into it. And then eventually, as this is actually what the engineers work from, so it's very detailed. But eventually you come down here and you can actually also put in your pricing for that proposal. And here you have both required items as well as optional upgrades. So let's say in this case, I'm selling you a CCTV wireless package, but I'm also going to be throwing in the option to have hosting as well as maintenance. So you can choose all of that. You can create payment schedules around it. So maybe you want to take a deposit here during the proposal phase or estimate phase. And then subsequently, maybe you're going to split the payments out. You can do all that. You can add subscriptions, all that stuff. And then for the actual just estimate piece, let's say I'm just back to the plumber example, you don't have to do this crazy stuff. You're literally just going to take this when you do new estimates, really just this element right here. And then we'll do a QuickBooks Online integration to start with and a Xero integration after that. So that way we're driving back into your accounting platforms for your bookkeepers. And then finally, the other cool part of this that everybody wants is the signature block. So you'll be able to pull out the signature block. And then when you send it, it's just like every other signature app that you've seen. The user's going to see it like this. They're going to start filling it out. They're going to sign it, and boom, we'll have a full-on signature capture, just like a DocuSign or a PandaDoc or whatever. And this will all be out. It should be out this quarter or early in July.
Awesome. Really cool.
Yeah, I think so too. And then so that's basically Q2. And then I just started hearing the roadmaps from all of the product managers this morning on Q3. The big new feature I would say for Q3 for me is probably going to be e-com. So we'll be we'll be launching a full e-commerce offering so that you can add that in and start selling products and shipping them out and all that wonderful stuff.
Yeah, the big thing too, I push a lot of some of my model has been creating bundles of social media templates on Canva and then selling those as an entry point to get somebody in.
Going out.
So
yeah.
All that stuff and the AI stuff. I just I put a video out on YouTube using the new AI image generation. So I'm excited.
Which is getting an upgrade here shortly too, by the way.
That's cool. Yeah.
Maybe you happen to know that.
Yeah, it was a little funky, but I knew just based on your comments that you guys were rolling out new options on that too to make it even better.
Yep, absolutely. So so the AI story, we should talk about that, I guess. So let me crack open a couple more Figmas for you here. So
no problem.
We've got, obviously you mentioned the image AI, we have the content AI, and then I forgot to mention the conversations AI, and then the other, and so just this quarter. So let's sort of talk about that. So so this quarter we are launching or have launched. So that's conversations. Let's go look at, and then we've launched AI content generation, which will start to make its way out to all corners of the app. And then we also have obviously the image generation, which you already demoed, wherever the heck I'm going. Here we go. So the image generation, which will also make its way out. So we've got content, we've got image, we've got content, And then we will also add conversation. So conversation AI will go out, I think this week. The idea here is that it operates at the sub-account level, and it is sort of agnostic for, you don't have to workflow it. You don't have to you don't have to set it up. It just operates. And there's two modes. There's suggestive and autopilot. You choose the channels you want. And then the most important thing that, this is what I really push for the design, is an objective, right? Because let's say I'm talking to an AI bot and it's telling me everything I want to know about a business. At some point, if I'm not taking that next step, I'm not transacting, I'm not really getting anywhere, right? So how does that help the business owner? It doesn't, right? So what we did is we modified the AI flow to push towards something. And in this case, we're going to start with a booking. And the idea is you can gate the booking with any kind of questions that you really need answered before you allow them to book, essentially. So the AI bot will try to kind of get this person to answer these questions. And then once those questions are answered, they'll ask them to book. And then obviously in the meantime, if they ask any other questions, the AI will handle those questions as well. So it's sort of this natural, hey, how much does it cost? Oh, well, and this gets to the training, but you can train down here with the Q&A format, but hey, how much does it cost? Oh, it's normally between $100 and $500. Oh, do you currently own your home? It's like, that's what the AI will ask. And then the idea is we're getting to this place where you've asked your questions and gotten good answers. I've asked my questions and gotten good answers. And now I'm going to get you to book. So this will be both suggestive and autopilot. The suggestive mode is like this, where you'll be in a conversation and it's up here trying to tell you like, hey, these are things you should say. And you can highlight them, click them, drop them into the conversation, and then you can decide either to just send it right there or obviously modify it to your heart's content. And then just as an example, like autopilot, obviously it's just that, but let's say you came in on a conversation where autopilot was happening, you would see it like this. Oh, hey, look, you can see here the bot is doing its thing. And then you can actually tell the bot to wave off if you want to for a certain amount of time. So then you could take over the conversation, let's say, just close the sale or do your own thing. Otherwise, the AI will just kind of run around doing its own thing and trying to get people to actually book an appointment.
That's awesome. So I don't know if you guys understand how incredible this is, but literally every small business, every entrepreneur could use some kind of software like this. And there's so many bits and pieces. Maybe you just offer invoicing and tap to pay and that kind of side. Maybe you're down this conversational, like booking people on calendars, all of this. And especially bringing in the AI component of this was just going to make your job easier, your client's job easier. I'm so excited for all the things you guys have coming out.
And then into Q3, what we're really starting to think of everywhere we go, it's, can AI do this, right? So can AI, so with social media posting, can AI do full social media posting for us? Yes or no? Can AI do full funnel building? Yes or no? And we're starting to find the answer is like more yes than no. So we're going to work towards full AI funnel builds, full AI website builds, full AI social media posts en masse. So like someday you'll be like, hey, I want a year's worth of posts for a plumber, go. And it'll kick it out and it'll actually be really good. So that's kind of the world we're looking for.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited for the future, but I've heard several of your interviews, and a lot of the people that come to me are curious about something that I think you have a passionate response about, and that is, should I dive into this specific niche or should I do general? And I've heard you articulate this very well with just walking out your door and knocking on the businesses around you. Can you talk a little bit about that and kind of your Alpine heating and air example and that kind of stuff?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I would just say, like, I think the problem is for most people, when they think about, when they think about this, they think about like, how do I, scale to the sky and become top dog in, the world? And then when I ask them how many customers they have, they say, oh, well, I have 0. And I'm like, what? Huh? And it's like, listen, you got to walk before you run, right? So most of the time, you got to realize, like, whoever you are, you have to really understand kind of who you are and where you are. And I think most people who are beyond, let's say, 10 or 20 customers, you know who you are and you sort of have an idea what you're doing. So I'll leave you out of this discussion. But for those of you who have, let's say, less than 20 clients, and many of you who have 0 or 1 or 5, like the walk out your front door strategy, it crushes it. So the reality is, if you want to sell, you want to do the best job possible, you want to make the most money faster than anybody else, walk out your front door, sell to local people, sell to people in your local area. And it's funny because people, so first of all, the reason you don't hear about the strategy is because it's not exciting. No one gets excited about this. No one drives ad clicks this way. It doesn't. That's why you never hear about it. That's why it's the secret strategy. No one will tell you. That's what the ad should say, right? But I'll tell you, it's not that crazy. So Go look at super big software companies that make hundreds of millions of dollars. Go look at Patient Pop, which, by the way, its main product is a website. And where did they get their first million in revenue? Walking around. They literally walked to every doctor's office within their city, and they got to $1 million in revenue that way. Podium. There's a great video, actually, of the Podium CEO going back to talk to his BYU entrepreneurship class. And he literally tells the story of the fact that when he was a student there, he created the product and he walked off campus and he walked around until he couldn't walk to enough businesses to sell to anymore. And that's when they went to direct sales of some sort. And so at the end of the day, what I want to tell, why I tell you these stories, and then ongoing at a really huge scale level, go look at Thrive, THRYV. They're publicly traded. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. They sell almost exclusively through a local sales force, walking around every city all of you live in today. If you just, I always like to do the thing where it's, you just do, in fact, here, we can do this together. Let's see, let me share my screen here. You could say Eugene, Oregon, LinkedIn, Thrive. This is where I live. And then sure enough, wouldn't you know it, here's good old Xander Van Horn, some person I've never met, by the way, in my entire life, who's a Thrive business advisor and has been for the last 9 months. And what that is that's this guy walking around my community selling software to local businesses. And to the tune of, I think they just hit about 250 million in recurring software revenue at Thrive, and you can go check them out because they're publicly traded. And I'll tell you, they love this strategy because it works. And then ultimately, if you go look at even somebody like a Yelp has thousands of salespeople in market. This local sales construct works, and here's why. Local businesses are local. They serve local, they buy local, they are local, they think locals. They trust local, right? So if you want to really win, walk in their front door, because that's how they already see the world every day. I mean, most of them are not getting on webinars and getting on Zoom calls and doing, far off sort of mass market concepts. Most of them are waiting for people to walk in the front door so they serve them, right? Or they get on a van or truck or whatever and drive out and serve them. That's a very one-to-one local experience. So when you present differently than that, right there, you're presenting in a manner that just radically is disassociated from their day-to-day. And they're thinking, I don't know, this is kind of feels weird to me. And then many of them have bought software at a distance before, and they've had this wonderful experience of sitting on a 1-800 number, hoping someone cares and picks up. And if you can surmount that challenge, I mean, it's just so much easier. And here's the fun part about HighLevel. There's not a single business in any of the towns you live in that can't use that software right now today in some combination, to the extent that they could pay you $300 a month. And sometimes I get asked, well, what does that mean, Shaun? What would you do? How does that work? And I always love to give the example of the HVAC company that I helped here in Eugene. I literally sold them 6 years ago. They're the only small business that we serve. We do reputation management for them. As you can see, right where are they? Let me see. Let's look at the list here. Alpine HVAC right here, 593 reviews, up from 12 when I met them. And the only thing I do for them is reputation management. They pay me $300 a month for it. They have for 6 years. They never call me. I don't serve them. They don't have to do help docs or support, this and that. It just works. And here's how it works. Every time they cut an invoice, I send out a text. Hi, this is Drew from Alpine Heating and Air. We'd love to know how we did today. Would you be willing to leave us a Google review? Here's a link that makes it easy. And I link right to the Google page. It pops the screen. No razzle dazzle, no magic. Simple text, has not changed in 6 years. Crushes it for them. And he went from two people, 2 vans, to I have no idea how many. It was 13 last I checked, which was about 2 years ago. He doesn't do HVAC himself anymore. He runs his business, and that's it. We're done here, folks. And he's happy to pay this till the cows come home. And so you can take one little feature like this and turn it into an entire business. I like the missed call text back as well. I like GMB chat. I like the chat widget on the website. I love text to pay. These are really simple, easy ways to drive a lot of value for people. So if you're just starting out, I cannot emphasize this enough. You have to keep it simple. And being simple does not mean unscalable. It does not mean unprofitable. In fact, it means the opposite. The people that have the simplest offerings that are able to they're able to scale the most, they're able to maintain higher profit margins, deliver value a lot faster. The people that I have met in my life who are the ones that have massive churn rates, they're always the one who try to shoot the moon. They try to do amazing work, and oftentimes they do amazing work. And this is the crazy thing: they'll do amazing work that it goes unappreciated because the business owners they're serving don't have time to appreciate it, and quite frankly, they can't afford it. It's sort of like if someone showed up on my doorstep right now and said, "Look, I can make you a custom car. Everything you want about this car, you just name it. I can make it to a perfection T." And be like, okay, that sounds cool, but at the end of the day, I don't think I really need that. And so as cool as that is, I mean, don't get me wrong, you're amazing. I just probably, I can't afford it. So probably, they'd be like, oh, but it's just $1 million. But okay, well, I'm out. But then let's just say I could afford it. Then it'd be like, I would get it. And then I just don't think I would really fundamentally appreciate it. And it's as weird as this sounds, that is how your customers view the world, because you got to realize they're out being distracted constantly by so many other things going on in their lives. You are only one small part of it. And so this is where this idea of SaaSpreneurship comes into play and hits home so well, because fundamentally, it allows you to deliver value quickly at a price your customers can pay consistently, and you're able to get an ROI positive result, which is all that matters, and do so in a standardized way for every business in town and scale radically, versus the traditional agency model where you're killing yourself, you're doing bespoke work, you're getting fired left and right because people, quite frankly, you're at the top of their income statement and they're thinking, God, how do I get rid of this $2,000 a month person so I can buy this other thing that to me is more important, because I can't quite understand what this really expensive sounding thing is doing for me. So I'm going to go find something cheaper. This allows you to drop down to the utility bill level and just crush it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's such a great response. And so many times I'm talking to people and like you said, they want to scale to 1 billion users before they've gotten the first one, and they want to get the logo and the website and the everything perfect before they talk to the first person. And there are so many features in HighLevel that it's easy to get overwhelmed. That was a mistake I made at the beginning, was wanting to offer everything to every person when they didn't care about the funnel builder for that particular company or whatever. So I think starting with what you said, the reviews, the GMB, just kind of the local core stuff, and start knocking on doors is a great way to get going.
Totally agree.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have a few minutes for questions, guys, before we wrap up with Shaun. If you have some stuff, it looks like he's been responding to you guys, but for the YouTube recording, I think we had one at the top here. My daughter teaches English as a second language. Can she use the client portal for each of her clients to pay? Is this linked to Stripe?
Yes, and yes, and yes. I mean, so really what you want to do there, well, I mean, there's all kinds of options there. So remember, we already have invoicing, right? Which you can do recurring invoicing, and recurring invoicing automatically captures the payment method. And you could then, let's say let's say first month, I send you an invoice, Shaun, hey, it's $20 a month for this. I pay the invoice and then it keeps my payment method. And the second month it comes out, guess what? Auto debit, auto debit, auto debit, auto debit. So if it's just you charging a simple amount for something that everybody understands that has no need for a portal or a membership or this or that, then just use the recurring invoices. Done and done, right? That's pretty simple. But if you need some kind of connection point, like a membership where you're like, maybe you're doing those lessons on the membership, well, then use the membership. So there's different ways to do this, but at the simplest, just use a recurring invoice, and you can absolutely do that.
Will there be any additional payment for the AI stuff?
Yes, there is. And it's in the help docs. I can't remember what it is, but it's essentially just, today we use OpenAI, but just realize tomorrow there's a lot of people warring over this, and so invariably this will come out the way everything else has, right? You'll have an early leader, and then you'll have somebody catch up. Like we've been in discussions with Google, and we've seen some of their stuff behind the scenes, and it's pretty radically good. So, but basically, it'll always just be our cost plus a little. Not plus a little, but our costs pass on to you, and then you're able to mark it up to whatever. So essentially it's just our costs and in this case, I think it's a combination of the OpenAI costs and the server costs. But yeah, so in every case it's pennies. So it's really pretty cheap.
Here's a question I've had, and I've always wanted to ask you. I don't want to assume, I guess. The big fear some people have is that because it's such a great model that you guys have right now with, we can literally have 1,000 clients and paying you guys a flat fee of $497 or whatever a month. Do you ever foresee a day that we wake up, and forgive my ignorance of how your inner business workings are, but we wake up one day and server costs are 10 times what they used to be, and so now it's a per user fee or something like that?
Yeah. So, there's two parts. If you think about what you're really asking, there's two parts to the question. So one, do we ever plan on changing our pricing model? No, we don't. Now, are there going to be sort of, we live in this funny world because most things have actually gotten cheaper in time. So like if you think about server costs or, long distance costs, I'm old enough to know what long distance is, but those sorts of things, they got cheaper as time went on. And so let's just assume at some point server costs sort of like stagnate and then just underlying inflation takes over and brings those up. I could see days like when we like have to recognize that inflation and bring up the cost of the plan, but you're talking about marginal dollar increases, not radical increases. So certainly the per user pricing concept that you gave, no, absolutely not.
Okay.
But could, like if worldwide Amazon and Google and everyone else, the 20% increase in server costs, yeah, we'd probably bump ours up too. But at the end of the day, the actual model that we're talking about, this unlimited users, unlimited contacts, one flat rate, unlimited sub accounts, no, that model has held really well. And that's the fun part about it. This isn't a trick for us. This isn't and for those of you who don't know, we've been around for a while now. We've been around 5 or 6 years. So this model has been profitable since inception. It's still profitable now. And it's what allows us to do what we do. So we have a very sustainable business, ironically enough, unlike almost every other software company that you folks know. Go look them up, try to see if they're profitable, and you'll find most of them are not. We actually are able to keep the lights on with our business model, unlike other people. So no, we're not changing our pricing model.
And just to thank you for that, but also just let everyone know how unique and awesome that is most other brands, if they even do allow you to white label, they do have a per user fee of $20, $50, $100 a month per user that you add, and then you can have your markup on top of that. It's rare to find a company that will give you just a flat cost and have unlimited users.
Well, actually, I was going to say, I don't know of any myself, certainly that are sustainable. I mean, I have seen some one-time deals, although those are for anybody who's bought a one-time deal and runs a real business, you realize very quickly that either they made the wrong deal for themselves or they tricked you, because one-time deals don't work, because engineers don't work for one-time fees and servers don't work for one-time fees. But it's amazing. Yeah, the business models of software are crazy. But I'd also say the true white label softwares out there, there are a couple, but we're a very small band. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. We'll ram through these final questions. I know we just got a couple more minutes with you, Shaun. Sure. Any creative offers for realtors? I can help a lot with that. That's kind of
I was going to say, I am a software person, not so don't ask me my bright ideas on that. Definitely talk to you.
Medical office has been added to local service ads. Will that be integrated into GHL?
Yeah, so I heard somebody else ask me this question. So you got to realize local service ads, right? So that's just an ad that you're able to run. So then from there, the question is, what is the communication stream that we're going for there? So I think they're probably going to be asking about the lead capture or the chat. And yeah, we're working with Google right now on getting access to that API. It didn't even exist. I'm not even sure yet if they've released it. But it is absolutely something we will tap into. And today, I believe, well, I'm trying to remember this. They had the lead formats. Google's so confusing. They had the lead formats on Google AdWords, and that they will let you webhook out and you can grab the lead already. I don't know about local service ads. I'll have to follow up. But let me take a note from my product manager right now, and I'll see if we can follow up on that.
Awesome. Amber says, fairly new to GHL. Any niche recommendations? We talked about that earlier, yes, Amber, but basically local, just go out your front door, and really focus on product. So, or a solution, I guess. How can you provide a solution to any local business?
Yeah. That's actually a really good point, Jason. So the other thing I would say is, whatever you do, please do not talk about software. Please do not try to sell software. You on this call are going to hear a lot about software, because software is what you as the professional will use and know and understand, creates the outcome. But for your customer, when you're making the pitch, for gosh sakes, don't talk about the software, because you're literally asking for the most painful, difficult, suffering, conversation of your life, because you're sort of you're gonna force someone who is totally not ready or not capable of talking about something to opinionate on something. It's sort of like if Jason and I had a really rousing conversation about our thoughts on how to go about heart surgery. Both of us would opinionate, I'm sure, and we'd both be wrong and be a bunch of idiots because we don't know what we're talking about. And that's what's going to happen with the customers. You're going to say, hey, I've got this great CRM system and this and that, and they're going to fire back with, I already got one of those, and da, 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 da. So focus on the outcomes. And what do I mean by that? It's literally, hey, I'm going to get you more customers. I'm going to get you more 5-star reviews. I'm going to get you a higher rank on Google, right? You as the practitioner know the tools of the trade. You know the things you should use to do that and create those outcomes, but do not sell tools, sell outcomes. And that will differentiate you all day long and it'll radically change what you're also capable of doing. Because if you choose to do it one way, or you want to change it later on, you don't want to get in a debate with your customer on how you're achieving it. You simply just want to achieve it for them. For Alpine HVAC, I told him what I was going to do. I didn't ask him what he wanted. And I service hack didn't say I had a CRM system, because he would have said, well, in fact, for him, I know what he has. He has, there was over $1 billion, although they're bleeding cash and laying people off now. What are they called? I don't know, some massive
Salesforce.
No, they're really big in the HVAC business. Service Titan. That's what he's got.
Oh, that's right.
Service Titan. It's about the most expensive system ever. Oh, and by the way, it has reputation management in it, and it's garbage. And he switched over to it, and he accidentally turned off my reviews. And then he called me and he was like, "What the heck's going on? The reviews aren't working." And I'm like, "Let me check." And it was like he turned on the Service Titan stuff, and it's terrible. So that was the whole point. But I focused on the outcome there. I didn't focus on the software, because I had focused on the software, would have gotten replaced by Service Titan, right? But I didn't, because fundamentally it was like, hey, I get you reviews. He doesn't care how it happens. He just cares that it does. So I just restored what I was doing before, and boom, his reviews kept lit right back up, and he was happy as all heck with me. So don't sell software, sell outcomes.
Awesome. Moon, and these are challenging questions because it's comparing against some arbitrary service out there versus HighLevel, but will basically the marketing tool inside to the prospecting tool, I guess, inside be better than using the lead scrapers and email automation softwares out there?
I mean, again, so I think the problem, okay, so there's a difference between a lead scraper and a prospecting tool. I feel like what a lot of people want to do is they want to sit behind a computer and they want to scrape a bunch of emails and send off a bunch of cold emails, and they think magic will happen and gold will fall from the sky. And that's total garbage nonsense, right? And by the way, if you don't think that the average business owner that you're talking to has gotten a truckload of cold email at this point, you are nuts. They hate that stuff. They're sick of it. They're tired of that approach. Don't do it. This is why I'm not a big fan of lead scrapers, because that's exactly why people lead scrape. You don't lead scrape because you need a list of businesses to go knock the door on. You lead scrape because you're afraid to get out from behind your computer. But that's not how sales work. You need to go join the Chamber of Commerce, go to the BNI meetings, right? Talk to local business owners that you know, put on a local marketing business event. These things actually work. They're super unsexy, they're super boring, and they super work. Ultimately, again, this is how business owners are, man. They don't want yet another cold email. I'm running a dentist office today. I'm a dentist. If my hands are not in a patient's mouth, I make no money. You understand that? $0 coming in without hands in the mouth. So that's what I want to do. I want to keep my hands in the mouth all the time. So you know how much time I want to sit there and read your stupid cold email and send your dumb webinar and sign up for your stupid funnel? 0. But you know what? If you walk in to my business, I have real problems. I really want solutions, but I need to know I can trust you, because I'm so gosh darn busy trying to keep the lights on, trying to run my business. I don't have yet another $1 to waste and an hour to waste on some random person emailing me from the internet. I need someone who can come in and make it happen, who I feel like I can trust. And so if you walk in to my business, if you approach me in a forum that feels good to me, you're going to win. You're going to get my business every single time. So stay away from just this idea of I'm going to scrape a bunch of leads, blast out a bunch of stuff, and anything other than garbage is going to happen.
Awesome. Last two here. Jamie says, when you sign up, Stripe says it can't be changed. I'm a sole prop, want to turn it into an LLC. Is it possible to make this adjustment? I don't know.
Well, inside Stripe, I'd be shocked to find that's not the case. There's just no way. I mean, Stripe deals with this all the time. I sold my last business, and I actually changed ownership between me and the person I sold it to, and Stripe can handle it. I know Stripe can handle that.
So Jamie, I think we've talked about this.
Let us know.
Yeah, Jamie, I think we've talked about this. Feel free to reach out to me or HighLevel support if I can't help you. But see, appreciate it, guys. I have 2 different businesses. Can I use my GHL to brand both on the same account?
Yes, because I have the 2. Well, I mean, the 2 sub accounts, right? So
yeah, even on the 97 plan
here, right? But yeah, I assume that they're actually 2 businesses, 2 legit businesses. That's just 2 sub accounts. So absolutely, that's one of the big things that drew me to HighLevel, is because I was with a previous company that I have 3 or 4 different brands, and I get crazy ideas like I want to start XYZ Corp, and then everything was I have all the emails coming from the same thing. It was confusing. Now I have separate sub accounts for each brand, and it's so easy. And I hate to tell you this, but you can do that on the 97 account because you get 2.
Yeah. All right. So glad I joined this call. Awesome. So final question, how would you present the prospecting tool to the So the prospecting tool is not for the businesses. The prospecting tool is for you as the agency owner.
I think that what they're I hope what they're saying is like, how would I present the prospecting report to the business, right? And that's, and again, this is down to your sales technique. So again, what I would do is I would just try to get that person in a conversation. And again, you have to figure out your attack strategy. So you look at that business, and this is where I actually think sales really get made. And this is where I get hit up all day long. This is the funniest part. I get hit up, all of us do, but I get hit up all day long to buy something. I get hit up on LinkedIn. I get hit up on Messenger. I get hit up on text. I get hit up on email. And the people who win are the people who actually took a minute to know me. I am a great customer, by the way, for the record. I can buy lots of your stuff. But if you don't take 5 minutes to say something that makes me think that you actually took a minute to know me, then I never buy from those people. I hate those people. I burn those people down as fast as I can. I get rid of them. And I note down, I'll never buy from you because you don't care about me. So I think what you try to do is you get in a conversation where you show that you've cared about that business owner and then and know something about them. And then you bring that report along, and you can send it in all kinds of different ways. You can send an email or text or whatever, but you do so off the back of some kind of genuine connection, not off of, just some blast email that you send out. I think it's the kind of thing where you run that report. I would look at that business. I would see what the challenge is. And then I would try to address that challenge very specifically. And I would make sure that they knew that I had taken some time to learn about them. I've been to your website. I noticed that you're running this special. I think that specials are great, but here's another way I think that you could probably attack this. I noticed that X problem, this is the Y solution I could give you. I mean, it's not an email you can do at scale. It's just an email that will probably get you a sale versus not.
Yeah. Well, Shaun, we are a little over your time. I want to thank you so much for all the knowledge you give and just the entire HighLevel team and all the effort that everyone does behind the scenes that gets underappreciated. Thank you guys for everything you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm gonna go drop some crazy more release videos right now.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'll stay on for a little while, guys. We'll let Shaun go and I can answer a few more questions. But Shaun, thank you. Thanks again for your time.
Hey, thanks everybody. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. All right. So if you guys have any other questions, you want to unmute yourself, just know that this will be on YouTube, so you'll be on there, but feel free to unmute yourself, or if you just want to chat the questions out, let me pin my video here. Awesome. So I'll stay on for just a few more minutes. If you have questions, you want to unmute yourself, feel free. Otherwise, we'll wrap up.
Hey, Jason, I just want to thank you for doing this. I watched one of your YouTube videos the other day. I just found you on YouTube, and I really appreciate all the information that you're putting out. I'd like to probably just send you an email when I get a chance so that we can speak one-on-one if you have that.
Yeah.
To do so.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Particular preference that you'd like for us to reach you?
There it is in the chat, so anybody on the call can message me or join the group as well. I'll send a message out for the group as well. It's trendify.group, and that is just a free Facebook group that I interact with a lot as well.
I think I joined your group.
Okay, great.
But I'll double check.
Awesome. But yeah, and thanks so much for interacting on the call here. How cool it was to have somebody who's that busy and running a major company jump on and spend some time with us. So are you using the tool right now? Did you say you're newer?
I do have. I have 2 different ones.
Okay, cool.
And I love it. I've been using it for a while, for probably about 2 years now, and I just absolutely love it.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much.
Okay. I'm going to jump off. I do have another call I need to get on to.
No problem. Thank you. Thanks for joining us, Colette. Okay. Anybody else?
Hi, Jason.
Hey, what's going on? Let me pin you here so I can make sure you're on the call. There you go. Hey, Linus.
Yeah, hi, Jason. Linus here is amazing. I'm happy I joined this session. It's really, really amazing information. Thank you very much. And so you guys talk about going to the local businesses. And I was just wondering, is there something you can recommend that one can use to show these local businesses? Because when you walk in there, you have to kind of show something, right? Like a presentation material. Is there any technique that you have that you can recommend? Yeah.
Well, number one, the prospecting tool. I think if you're going to do the walk-in strategy, then use the prospecting tool that's built into HighLevel, and don't just walk into, I guess to start out with, till you get your rhythm down, come in with a little bit of ammunition. So find local businesses that also are missing a website, or are also missing a missed call text back, or some other feature that you know you can provide a solution for, so that you're not just walking in blind saying, hey, we can do, I can get you a website. They're like, we just spent $5,000 on a website. We don't need your website. You know, so you're not wasting your time there. So just build kind of a targeted list of people in your area that you want to go knock on the door or send an email to. And then beyond that, coming in with a proposed solution ready to go that can work for each of those businesses. So, and not to say you have to spend hours doing this, but if you have a sample website for a plumber, you can just show them, hey, I've already kind of built this, and maybe even you put their logo on top or something as you're about to walk in, because you can swap that out in 5 seconds before you walk in, right? So those things, just having a little bit of ammunition to go in. And then once you get comfortable and you kind of get your rhythm down, then you just want to go down a line and start talking to people. You already kind of know what questions people will have, what objections they'll have, so you can navigate that a little better. Is that helpful?
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. No problem. Thanks, Linus. Let's see. Moon says, also, if I want to have 2 agencies using the GHL software, do I need 2 accounts? Example, 1 agency offering only websites, 1 agency giving reputation management. So one thing Shaun was mentioning, and maybe he breezed over it pretty quickly, but they are in the next quarter or 2, they're going to allow multiple agency brands under 1 account, which means you can have Lawyer Soft and Plumber Soft and Real Estate Soft and whatever as your different brands. So that isn't currently available, but what you can do is just have a general brand, and then like say I had xyz.com as my software, I can do plumber.xyz.com and lawyer.xyz.com, or what was it? You had example websites and reputation management. You could do websites.xyz.com if you needed to. But a lot of times, especially when we're first starting out, we don't know if these things are going to be what we ultimately want to do forever, right? So I typically recommend just being general, and you don't have to send people to your software landing page. You can create custom landing pages for each of your offers, but just still make the offer specific on a landing page, but not have to rebrand your entire company just to offer these different features. Hopefully that helps, because I've changed my brand 3 or 4 different times, because I was like, I am doing this thing, all real estate agents, and then found out that I didn't necessarily want to only do real estate agents. So I don't like to make anything permanent. That's why I like a general domain name, doesn't really matter what it is, and then just make different landing pages for the different offers. Okay, just wanted it as a safety net in case it didn't work out and I can't pay my expenses. I got you. Yeah, I mean, really, if you need to, I would downgrade to the $97 plan for a little bit till you get a couple clients, and then work your way back up. But hopefully with the value that I put out on all my videos and stuff and all that, I think it's something that you guys can have multiple different offers and not have to be locked into something. Emailed you, very interested in real estate offers, if you can chat. Yeah, absolutely. Another thing I want to show you guys while we're on the call, I should have had this queued up, but final thing I wanted to share with you is, let me get it up here. And feel free to chat any final questions. Yes, you're helping me so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so sharing screen, bear with me. Got 2 screens here. Okay, here we go. So if you don't have a HighLevel account currently, I do have, oops, okay, there we go. I do have a free 30-day trial to HighLevel that you can get access to the full suite of tools. Just go to ghlfree.com if you're watching the replay somewhere down below. But GHL, like Go HighLevel, ghlfree.com will bring you to this page with my face on it. That will give you a free 30-day trial to the software. In addition to that, I have some cool tools, and I'm constantly adding to this. But I am giving, let me find that. Here it is. So I have an entire business in a box basically for you guys to go out and start making sales right away. And that is this snapshot here, which is basically a done-for-you real estate digital product. So you can start selling it to real estate agents, and I'm adding to it to make it more general so you can sell it to other industries as well. So it's a free Instagram course, and then there's a digital product here, which is like a $10 bundle of Canva templates that you can sell for whatever price you want. The next thing is a one-time offer upsell. This is a $37 upsell offer, and then a one-time offer for the social media posting tool. And then I have all the products and stuff, so all the deliverables. So just to kind of, it's an entire business in a box in the sense of I have opt-ins where you can just send this link out. I usually do it over cold DM to people. They opt into that, and then they're offered a $10 product right there, which is a digital bundle of Canva templates that they can use to post on social media. If they buy that, then they go to another offer, which is a video bundle of the same kind of stuff. And then if they buy that, then I typically offer them my social media posting tool, which is built inside of HighLevel for $37, $47, $97 a month, whatever you want to offer. And then all those deliverables, all those digital products and stuff are automatically emailed to them. So you just connect your Stripe, connect your emails and a few other things, and then you can start selling this as soon as you sign up. So that is for any of my affiliates. So just go to ghlfree.com. Awesome. So any final questions? I know we got to wrap up here. Let me know in the chat. Otherwise, if you're watching this later on YouTube or in the Facebook group, feel free to comment, and I try to come in pretty regularly and respond to those as well.
Hi, Jason. For the social media,
yes,
the social media posting tool, as part of the deliverable, I believe we have to create the account for them manually, right?
Yeah, if you're typically what I've been doing is just creating it manually because I'm not getting like 20 a day. I'm getting maybe a handful a day and setting it up for them. There are some ways to automate it with a software called Pabbly, P-A-B-B-L-Y, I think, but I haven't done it in a long time, so I'm not sure how to tell you how to do it, but there is a way to kind of automate that account setup. If you have the $497 a month plan, which is the SAS Pro plan, which is what you get with the free trial, that does have a way to automatically set up accounts for you, but it would be giving them access to everything under that, whatever they've bought. So it's not just the social media tool. So you'd still have a little manual work to go in and turn some of those features off. Okay. But those clients, just to let you guys know, are some of the most passive for me. I have people that have been paying for probably a year or so just for the social media tool. I never hear from them. They log in, they post, and so it's great. It's as close to passive income as I've found in HighLevel. Thanks for the value. Awesome. Cool. So thank you guys so much. If you have additional questions, join the group. Feel free to reach out to me. This will be out on YouTube in the next week or so. And other than that, I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, guys.